Well, welcome back, guys. It is Thursday, April 17th, and we have 3 showings today. So let me show you. I'm wearing my same reliable JCPenney pants because that's all that fits me. So I kind of match. I don't, and I kind of do. So this is what I have on. Okay, you guys, so this is what I'm wearing. As you can see, my clothes are really tight. You can see the width in my hips and stuff, but this is what I'm wearing. As you can see, I've gained a lot of weight. I've gained almost 11 pounds, and the weight is just packing on me. But I will take, ownership of that because I've been eating a lot of cookies, donuts, pizza. I just really haven't cared. This shirt is from Temu. This hat is from Shein. I wore it yesterday. I put some pigtails in my hair, and I'm wearing some Vans that Zim bought me about, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. I have a lot of pairs of shoes. I do have some videos coming up on my main channel that are going to be Walmart clearance. I've been looking around lately to see what I can share with you guys that is clearance at a good deal. So I am considering wearing this sweatshirt over what I'm wearing. So I may just do that. This is just a lounge sweatshirt I got from Walmart on clearance. It was like $9 and it's just comfy, but it is 79 degrees outside. So we'll see how it works because I feel like if I wear the shirt I have on, it's a little bit too tight to wear on its own. And now that I've gained so much weight, I don't know. So let's go on the scale. Let's see what I weigh with shoes and clothes on. Okay, so here's the scale. I have shoes and clothes on. So I'm gonna hold the phone and it's gonna make me, I'm sure, way more probably. But let's see. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on, I'm trying to do it. Hold on, let's see. Let's move it. Okay, here we go. I don't know, I can't see. That's what it says that I weigh with clothes on. So I have a feeling that's not accurate. I think I'm probably more around the 183 or something like that. Okay, so it says it's 16 minutes. I had to put this sweatshirt on. My mom said, just throw on that sweatshirt. So I threw on the sweatshirt. Let's hope I don't roast. Let's get on the road. It says it's 16 minutes away. So that is where we're going. I just put my little Walmart sweatshirt on. Same outfit, but let's get on the road. Okay, we are in the car now and I'm on my way. I have to plug in my phone. My phone's like not working. I had to bring another cord. Now I'm late. It's 3:17. God damn. It got fast. It got late fast. I put on this sweatshirt, you guys. It is so hot. It's like 80 something degrees and I have a sweatshirt on. But whatever. Okay, so this is saying 16 minutes away. We'll see. I'll be a little bit late. I can communicate with them though. I was asking my mom the other day. I was like, Mom, because my mom's older, obviously she's a senior, but she's elderly, I guess. I don't know when you pass. What is going on? Oh, the brake. The brake was on. I don't know when you pass from senior to elderly. I don't know, let me know. But anyways, I was asking her, I said, Mom, do you feel like when you're now that you're older that you're getting more sleep in your eyes? She's like, you know what, now that you say that, yeah. So I guess she feels the same way. But I feel like since I've been getting older, I get more sleep in my eyes. It's just like my ears too. I know that's TMI, but my ears, it seem like they acquire more wax. I don't know, girl, I don't know what happens to you when you get old. But anyways, yeah, so, okay, so we are going now. We're gonna be turning here in a minute. I'm hoping that I will get there on time because that would be rude if I'm not. But it's my fault. I should have left right at 3 o'clock and I got caught up talking to you because I'm lonely and I don't really have a lot of people to talk to. But yeah, anyway, so we are now about 15 minutes away. It's 3:19, so we're going to be about 4 minutes late. If my son decided to go as well because I didn't hear anything from anybody, then obviously, I'll see him there. I'm going to try to charge my phone as best as I can. The cords for some reason are not charging my phone at all, so I'm not really sure what is going on with the communication of this cord, but it seems like it works. Maybe it is working and I just don't understand. I don't know. No, because it's not. Shit, this one isn't working either. The other one actually is working better. Damn it. I don't know. It works at my house. I don't know why it's not working now. Anyways, so Mom didn't want to go. So that's understandable. She's older and she just, she can't make all the trips, I guess. So. But I think I know exactly where we're going, but I'm not really sure. So this charge as much as it possibly can for the map. So it's saying 1.5 miles turn left. So this house is called a new generation house. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms because of the generational part. New generational home here where we live is a separate quarters. So think about like a guest house or like a private suite in the house, that it's like it has a connection to the main house, but it also has a door that will shut it off, like away from the main connection house part. So that's what my son was wanting, and the reason why is because it has a kitchenette, which means some of them actually also have washers and dryers, but this one I don't know because it didn't show. It just showed it showed it furnished, which it looked a lot like the pictures. If I showed it to you already, I don't know, in the last video. But this one, if I didn't show you, I'll show it to you now. So it was furnished. So these are the photos anyways. So as you can see, it's supposed to be a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. I can't remember how big it is. It's not that big. It's like 2,900 square feet or something. So that means the rooms are going to be very small. It will have a loft, most likely. The kitchen's small, the pantry's small. The house that we looked at yesterday was $35,87, like I said, and it was giant. It had more than enough sizable space for anyone that lives there. I'm really praying and crossing my fingers we get that one, because that one it's a sacrifice for everybody, but not for space. Not for space. If, because I think if the boys can like accommodate that, then I think they're going to be happy with the space. So that, because that was my son's number one thing, is he just, I don't know why. I mean, I get his whole thing, but and I already know he's going to want this one because this is, like, I don't know. That's the thing about, like, trying to get everybody to agree, is that you got one person that's stern on what they want and another person that, my mom is older, and obviously in her last stage of life, I want her to be happy. She's never been a renter before. She's owned 3 homes. So it's like, she's not a renter. That's not her thing. It's not that she hasn't rented, but she's not a renter per se. You know what I mean? So she wants to be happy, like it's a big transition going from owning your own space to having to rent from somebody else, on top of the fact that the rents in California are so expensive right now. So I get it, and I want her to be excited when she gets up. I want her to be happy and feel good, when she gets up, when she goes to the kitchen, when she goes down to, cook or make or bake. I want her to feel confident when she walks through the home. I want her to feel like she's at home, and like I said, the one that our eyes are set on, the boys are not happy about because it's over budget. But like I said, there's a little bit of a sacrifice there, and it's also, one thing I wasn't thinking about before that I didn't mention in the last video is the cost to move in, because obviously if you have a larger rent, then you have to double that up because you're going to be doing the deposit plus the rent, which is something to think about. So you know what I mean? With all that said, there's a lot to consider, but in the long run, when it comes to the actual lease commitment, that to me is not, it does exceed budget, I'm not gonna lie, it does, but it doesn't exceed budget in the way that, because, and I understand, I want to just say, like, out loud in the oblivion that I'm not an idiot, okay? I understand when you're when you're doing analytics for your living situation, you obviously want to fall in the low end of, your budget, because you don't want to be putting pressure on yourself to, try to make ends meet. I understand that. But when you have 4 full adults with no children, everybody has their own lifestyle, everybody has their own working space, and primarily 85 to 95% of the time we're all home. Because everybody pretty much works from home, with the exception of both of my children working. They're adults, but both of my grown children, adult children, have work schedules, but they're minimal. In other words, their work schedules for my youngest is 2 days a week. The work schedule for my oldest is one day a week, and then he leaves himself open to fill more shifts. So, with that said, I get it. Am I going straight? Yeah, I'm going straight. Okay, I just wanted to go. I'm going around a bend that says 25 miles an hour, so I just need to be careful. This is a 2-lane, isolated kind of little highway thingy, so I just was trying to make sure I was paying attention. But anyways, yeah, so all I'm saying is that I understand, when you're evaluating analytics, that when you're trying to analyze a budget for yourself and you're trying to say, okay, well, I have the low end and I have the high end, and I don't want to go pushing things to the maximum when there may be a possibility that I could stay on the low range, and that's evaluating any excess cost that comes with the home. Obviously, you know what I mean? That will make it easier, to live every month. But I get it. I can't argue with that. I can't. However, on the flip side of that, you could say, well, I know it's the high end of the budget, but if someone in the group is saying, listen, I understand that it's pushing it, but I'm willing to take that sacrifice, and even though I promised that, I wanted to stay within the range and stuff like that, when you really think about it logically, this is what, needs versus wants. This is kind of what needs to be done, because when you think about the layout of the house, it suits everyone's needs. It absolutely suits everyone's needs. So that's where you kind of have to think, okay, well, there's no solar, there's no HOA fees, there's no hidden fees, there's no benefits package, something called a benefits package here in Northern California. There's no extra fees that are going to pop up through the month. The only thing they're asking for is the utilities, which is water, sewer, and garbage, and that ranges between $150 and $160. And there's the landscaping's included, and so you have to weigh it out, is what I'm saying. Because if you're going on a low end to rent and you're leaving a little bit of a range for excess fees, right? And you have your high end and you have your low end, you want to make sure that obviously you fall in the lower end if you can. But if you're going to, kind of make an exception of any sort, and you're like, okay, I know I said I really needed to be on the low end, but when needs kind of conquer or overstep wants, because I really want to be able to do this, and I want to be able to do that, but I need this. And if I need this, it's going to cost me a little bit more, and I will still be able to do what I set out to do, but I just won't be able to do it in the way that I wanted to do it. So I'm going to have to, in other words, the way that my plan to restructure whatever it is that I had in my plans to help to benefit me within a year's time, I'm going to have to, I can still do that, I just can't do it to the maximum that I wanted to do it, and that's where I was, just thinking, wow, I really think that makes sense, but I understand the argument. But at the same time, this was the only place we found that had ample space for all 4 adults to feel comfortable. My mom said, she goes, I want a newer environment. I want a big kitchen. I want a pantry. These are the things that are important to me. I need my bedroom. I want to look or feel like this. You know what I mean? So I understand my mom, and I understand what she wants. I've known my mom very well, and I know sometimes she can exceed, limitations. I get that, but that's important to her. And at 79, I think, although we're pushing it, and that wasn't the agreement, I still feel like we can make it happen. All of us can make a little bit of more sacrifices to keep her happy in this last stage of her life, where she's adjusting to be a renter, but she's happy. She wakes up and she's happy. She's excited to get up. She's excited to do the things that she hasn't necessarily done in a long time, which is sewing and baking and all this stuff. And then she has us around her, which makes her always feel comfortable. And, she just wants to be happy. And I think we should give her that. You know what I mean? She's 79, man. I'm not going to put her somewhere where she's miserable and, make her suffer and age her and have her age decline because she's unhappy. Unhappiness brings depression and just sadness, and I don't want that for her. I don't. And I'm willing to do whatever I have to do too to accommodate what she wants, and that's just not really what's going on, to be honest. It's just not. It's not. It's not happening. The other part of the circle is like, no, we said, we were going to stick to this budget, and that's what needs to be done, and da-da-da-da. Well, then I guess we're going to have to reevaluate this conversation, because that's what's kind of, making it hard and difficult for me, because I'm trying to accommodate everybody. I'm leading the ship. Let me tell this guy I'm on my way. Well, I don't think I need to. I'm only 4 minutes. I'm sure he can give me a little bit of leeway. So, there's that. That's all. I mean, I understand everybody's perspective. I get it. I know what was agreed, and like I said, it's a male versus female perspective, but there are some women, female perspectives that are very savvy and very frugal, you know, and stuff like that. So I get it, you know, but at the same time, like I said, it would be different if my mom was younger, you know, and there was time. But time is something you can't put a price tag on, and I don't want her to decline because she's miserable. I just don't. That's one of my, and you know, some people tell me, oh, you know, you're being dramatic, and oh, you're exaggerating, and oh, you know, there's time, and there's time isn't guaranteed. So I just want to, you know, I want to make her happy. That's all. And I think they should too. And like I said, I know it's on the higher end of this. And on top of that, we don't even know if we got it. That's another thing, is we do not even know if they're going to give it to us. But we are first in line for it because we were the only ones that showed up to the showing. But I did tell the broker, I said, you do have this listed too high. I said, I think you're going to have trouble. You know, you're going to have trouble getting it rented because it's so high. You know what I mean? Like it's really priced very high. So, all right, you guys, I am 3 minutes away. I'm turning now on the street that it's telling me to turn on. So I am doing that. Hopefully my son is already here. I don't know. I didn't hear back from anybody. We got a lot of tension going on in the family because of this house hunting gig. It's always, you know, I want this, and no, I want that, and no, I want this. And I always think that the person that pays the most is the one that has the most say, in my opinion, you know what I mean? But there's that. So, all right. So I am 1 minute away. So let me just, we've already been over here. We know exactly, this is the exact same area that we were in before. It says 0.7 miles. So I think this is very close to the very first house that we looked at. And I think I took you guys on the road with me for that one. So hopefully I'm just 2 minutes away here. Let's see. I'm in a brand new development. This is very isolated because it's brand new. There's not a lot around here. My son knows this area very well, but we don't. It's not too far from where we live now, but it is isolated, no doubt. Okay, yeah, this is the exact same place we came last time. So hopefully he's already here. Okay, 0.2 miles. Yeah, this is a brand new development. I don't know if he's doing this as a group showing or what. I thought he did this as a private appointment. It says 900 feet. Okay, what? 700 feet, that's not it. It must be this one right here. Okay, so we just saw that house. It was fully occupied with many people inside. That was a new experience, but it is a nice house. It's very large, that's for sure. I mean, surprisingly large for the square feet of it. But I'm gonna run to the house right now, back before we go to the next appointment, and then I'm off to the next one. So I will see you guys in a few minutes.